There's this show that I watched, or I do watch, not anymore, much so. Every now and then I tune into it. It's called The Curse of Oak Island, and me and my mom used to watch it a lot when it first came out. Like I watched it from season one to season fucking four, all throughout. And then ever since season five came out, I kind of fell off the bandwagon. But basically, what this show's about is there's these two brothers, right? Or actually, I should tell you about the island first. So there's this island called Oak Island, and it's in. I'm pretty sure it's in Nova Scotia. And back into the 1700s, there was a big, I guess, myth that there was buried treasure on that island, just on scattered, not just one treasure box or anything, but like just multiple treasure sites on that island. So then, many treasure hunters, I guess you could call them, began to start digging at that fucking island. So they've never found anything. But then some bullshit happened with this fucking weirdo. I'm pretty sure he was on this boat with some other guy, all right? And it's nighttime, and he's pulling through this island, and he sees this bright light. It's just a bright light in within the trees, and he tells his friend, and they pull up to the shore, and they chase this bright light into the forest of this island, and then the bright light leads them to this big ass tree, and then it disappears, and then they cut down this tree, and there was this fucking or I think either beside the tree or they cut down the tree, I'm not sure, but they're near the tree, I'm pretty sure there's this fucking like, I guess you could call it like a trap door, but it was like wooden planks uh fucking covering this hole. So they lifted these planks, and there was more planks 10 feet below. And they kept going, and it kept going for like, I'm pretty sure like 90 feet. Every 10 feet down, there was these like plank trapdoor type shit. And then, and every now and then there'd be something on these fucking planks. Like a small piece of gold or some shit. Some other shit. But there's this one thing, it was this fucking stone slab, and it read out that there was treasure, or no, there was £1 million buried underneath the soil on that island or some shit. And there's a photo, there's like photo proof of this fucking stone slab too. But anyways, this show, it's about these two brothers. This is present day now. There's these two brothers who are named Rick and Marty, not Morty, but Marty, right? And these two, I don't know what their last names are. Shit, I wish I did. But basically, ever since they grew, like when they were little, they found out about this fucking treasure on this island, and they were obsessed. They were so obsessed. They're like, when we grow up, we're gonna fucking find this shit. Everything's gonna be solved, and that's what they aspired to do. Which that's something I envy. That good for them. But anyways, so they what did they do? Oh yeah, so they they got they what did what the fuck am I trying to say? God dang it, man. I don't like it. I'm sorry, God. But they collected the proper required amount of money to not only dig there and search for treasure, but also film it and put it on the History Channel as the show Curse of Oak Island. So that's what they do. So the first season, they it's their first year. They haven't dug anything yet, and they just start. And I'm pretty sure that one of the first things that they do is they find this one site. They call them sites, like potential sites where they think the treasure could be. They they and also, by the way, I should point out the fact that they had like they were in cahoots with one of the like the previous fucking treasure hunters on that island who happened to actually live on the island at that time, and he gave them all access to like ideas and thoughts that he has, and he has this huge ass map. Holy shit, I just remember that. He has this huge map where he thinks there's possibly treasure that he's been adding to for 30 years. That's fucking crazy. But anyways, he passed away. God bless his soul. But basically, he I'm gonna just tell this story because this one is way better. But fucking, anyways, I'm pretty sure it's like fucking midway into the first season. There's a couple episodes where they're focusing on this one site that fucking the original OG treasure hunter was fucking. He was a lot older too. So I don't know what his name was, so I'm gonna just call him the older man. This fucking older man's potential site was called 10X. It was this big circular fucking circular tube that went into the ground. There's cement that he placed there actually with there's footage of him like fucking working to get that done and put in, but they failed like probably 75% or yeah, percent down. Like when they got 75% down to the depth that they were trying to go, because they found a cavity. If a cavity is like a big cave or like a big area or room inside of like a fucking inside the ground or like a mountain that shouldn't be like that. Like it's just a big cavity, you know. But anyways, fucking or it could be like that. It could be natural, but like they didn't think this was natural. So what they did was they dug down um back when he was trying to find that treasure. Him and his buddies dug down and they put in this fucking like big wide circle fucking hole with cement so they could actually reach down. But anyways, they got 75% down. And this, by the way, this was like 90 feet, I think. Uh, or no, it's actually like over 100 feet. The cavity is like to get to the cavity, but the actual fucking depth that they got to before they fucked up was like probably 90 feet, and they got 90 feet down, and they ran. I think they either ran out of resources or something happened, but it caused them to have to dig down with a very much like I guess narrow hole as opposed to the big wide cylinder. They had to dig down with a very like shoulder width fucking long ass skinny fucking ew. I don't even want to think about it. It's just like it's the type of shit that would make you claustrophobic. But anyways, it filled with water. So then they had to dive down and scuba dive down. And this guy did it too. The guy, the treasure hunter, he did it. And it was fucking he was the first one to ever pull it off. And which is crazy because it was like I think it was in the 60s. And yeah, he pulled it off, but what they would have to do is um he fucking had to dive down and through the wide ass circle hole 10x, and then he would have to squeeze his way down through this fucking shoulder width skinny ass hole to get down into this cavity. And then he was pretty certain that when he was down there he found this box. And then the later like in the next episode they sent down this like camera um or like this like fucking what is it called, like a 3D scanner to scan the cavity so they could see kind of what's down there but not really, just like the shapes and shit. And there was an actual box down there and it looked like what seemed to be a pillar, like a support pillar holding the ceiling up, which is even crazier. But anyways, um he got down there and he found the box, and that's why he was so obsessed with the site. So anyways, they go there and it's still flooded and it's actually like murky now, so you can't see anything when you're going to try to dive down there. But anyways, they got multiple divers to attempt to go down there, and that was across the span of a couple episodes, and they all failed and they were just about to give up, but they contacted this like highly professional fucking diver who happened to actually I'm pretty sure check out the Titanic. I don't know his name either. I'm sorry, but anyways, he went down there, and he managed to get through, but he had to have a harness on and whatnot. And he was down there for like 30 minutes. And when you're down there underwater for like a long period of time, you got to come up very slowly, and hopefully you're not down there too long because it could affect your brain and the blood inside your veins and arteries and whatnot. So, anyways, he was down there for a little bit longer than he should have been, I guess you could say. But he found the box, and he said that there was at least 190-degree angle on it that he could identify, and but he couldn't see anything because of the water, which fucking sucks. But anyways, he came back up, uh, but he had to do it really slowly. Oh, and by the way, what really pissed me off is they made his whole journey down into the depths and into the cavity one whole episode, and then once he got into the cavity, it just cut off and be like, next time on the Curse of Oak Island, and then the next episode started with what he found. It kind of pissed me off, because I was like, the whole episode you're like, oh, I can't wait till he gets down there, and then he finds the shit. I can't wait to see what he finds, and then he gets down there and it cuts off, and you're like, what the fuck, man? But anyways, listen, um, he comes up and he has to go into this fucking like weird like tube thing, in this big truck, so his brain doesn't fucking like break, which is probably really scary. Like, fuck diving, what the fuck? But anyways, he managed to pull it off, and then but they concluded that it was a natural formation for some reason. They ended up just saying, "Oh, well, it's probably just natural. We're just gonna give up here." The fuck is that? You know what I think happened? I think they probably did find something and were somehow retrieved it, because obviously he wouldn't have been able to retrieve it, but they probably could have just spent millions of dollars to dig that whole site out and then actually managed to get to the cavity, I mean, and then bring it back up. Why not? Why couldn't that happen? What the fuck? But anyways, um another thing that I find really funny, and me and my mom laugh about this all the time about this show, is that there's this fucking narrator, and his voice is so funny. He's also it's the same narrator from Ancient Aliens on Netflix. Um, but anyways, the way he narrates this is he does it the same way, and he's very repetitive in the manner that he does it. And what I mean is that when for example, they'll find something, often wood, by the way, which I'll get to in a minute. It's quite annoying how they just find, oh, it's wood. Oh my god, it's wood. There's wood down there. Oh my god, wood. It's always wood. Anyways, let me get to this. Oh, that's my alarm. All right, I'm sorry. Anyways, listen. So basically, whenever they find something, they'll identify what they think it could be. They will say, like, for example, they found this spike, like, and they said, "Oh, that's like," and then they brought it to this person, and they identified it as one of those spikes that like, uh, back in the old days when they would hammer spikes into like ships, and they found it in a swamp. So then the woman says it, and then all you hear is the narrator, and he goes, "A spike from a ship in the swamp?" And then he would just go on to say some other shit. But it's hard to explain, but just the way he does it, and he says it the exact same fucking way every time they find something. Wood, 200 feet beneath the earth. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, fuck, it's so funny though. Like, if you watch this show, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and he does it in every fucking episode, and it's hilarious. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's actually pretty entertaining, because you'll be sitting there and he'll just say it, and then once you like you've pointed it out, you won't unhear it. Every time he does it, you start dying of laughter. It's great. But yeah, this fucking okay. So whenever they're digging, so many of their episodes, by the way, I'm gonna warn you, are underwhelming. And what I mean by that is that they'll like there's so many episodes where that I've seen where they're digging, and then they stop because they find some shit, and they check out what they've dug up, and then they're digging it, and then all you hear is Marty. He's like, "Oh my god, Rick, I found something! I found something!" And then Rick will be like, "What? What do you find?" And then it'll be a commercial. And then you're sitting there and you're like, "Holy fuck, I got what? What is this? It better be good." And then they're like, "It's wood." Okay. And they're like, "Well, how could wood get down there?" I don't know, probably structures that made by like fucking like people from centuries ago. Thousands of years ago, maybe. Who the fuck knows? Maybe it was just a fucking toppled tree that was fucking that the tectonic plates fucking after they shook around a little bit, they fucking it buried. Who knows? I'm no fucking scientist. I don't know what happens. But like I guess that's crazy, but not really. Like we want to see some fucking gold or some silver, or some coins and shit. They actually do find quite a bit of coins. Like the amount of discoveries found on the island was pretty skim until they came around. But they found like I'm pretty sure like at least 7 or 8 coins. And they found like a couple buttons too. They found like I'm pretty sure they found a mineral, like a fucking high grade mineral, like like a big diamond or something, a big cross. Like they found some shit. They find stuff, but I don't think they've ever like found like a treasure box or some shit, unfortunately. But they like that's what when you're watching it, that's like the big like I don't know, it's hard to explain. They established that as like the thing that they're looking for. Like that's the thing that everyone wants to see. But it's also fun to watch because when you're watching it, they identify a lot of connections to like Templar age shit back in like 1000 as opposed to 2000 and fucking 21 right now. You know what I mean? And like and that's like Ark of the Covenant type shit, like and Jesus type shit. Well, maybe not Jesus, but you know what I mean, like Templar and medieval shit. And like there's a lot of talk about like pirates too, like potential pirates like there's this one famous pirate who he buried his treasure and then I think he died, but no one ever found his treasure. But a lot of people believe that his treasure was there. Fuck, what was his fucking name? That is so annoying. Dang it, I wish I knew what his name was. Either way, though, it doesn't really matter. You know what pisses me off? So, a couple days ago, right? Or no, a couple weeks ago, I should point out. I dropped my what they call Chromebook. They my or at least my uh the Durham District School Board. That's where I reside. They provide their students Chromebooks, but when you drop them, they're not very, durable. And I did. I dropped mine like a moron. I think I pointed this out on both my YouTube channel and this podcast. But I dropped mine like a fucking idiot, and it didn't crack or nothing. But fucking the screen is popped out just a tiny little bit. Like not the screen, but it's not bad damage. It's just that, like there's a plate of like either it looks like plastic, but I'm pretty sure it's glass. That covers the screen, and the display and shit. But fucking the glass is like just barely popped out, and I'm in phys ed, and I obviously am virtual, and I have the option to have my camera off during my workouts. I have my camera on usually, but sometimes I don't want to. Fuck that. I'm not fucking working out on camera while you just sit there. I'm sorry. But anyways, listen. Listen, it's not his fault. I'm just kidding around. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not they have to do that. But anyways, fucking listen to me. Listen to moi. Anyways, fucking so I have my camera off sometimes, and a good majority of the class consistently has their camera off. So my teacher, what he likes to do is he likes to point it out quite a bit. He's like, "Oh well, today we only had 7 people with us on camera working out." So, and then like you feel bad. So I went out of my way and I lied to him, and I said, "Hey, the reason why I haven't is because I dropped my Chromebook a week ago and my camera is all messed up because of it." That's a lie. I admit that. I apologize. That's a lie. It's just an excuse. But I did drop my Chromebook and the screen is popped out, so it is what it is. And I'm gonna hopefully not have to get my mom will have to pay. I don't have $500 and it's in her, like she has to fucking pay for some dumbass reason, even though I'm 17. I turned 17 2 days ago. Woo! Oh my god! Guess who's 17 now? I'm a big kid now. Yes, I am. I'm a big kid now. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna turn 18 next year. That's fucked up. That's actually really fucked up. I don't want to turn 18 next year. But shit's speeding up. School. February, I gotta do semesters again, or a semester for the fucking second semester. So that means 4 classes all at once again, as opposed to 2 all at once. Which, you know what? Fuck it. That's how high school is. It is what it is. You can't be worried or paranoid. You gotta be prepared. That's exactly what you gotta do. But anyways, that's not only it. But in January next month, I am getting a driver's license. I'm gonna get my G1 because apparently, according to my mom, I haven't looked into it myself. But I asked mom, how long does it take to get until you can get your G2 license? And she said about a year. I was like, a year, a fucking year. Why? Well, I didn't say a fucking year, but I was like, a year? Why? And she's like, well, if you do driving school, you can get it within 8 months. And I was like, well, what do you mean a year then? And she says, well, if you get someone to drive with you after you get your G1, then you can train. I'm pretty sure they can train you and supervise you until you can get your G2, like do your driver's test. And then I can drive. I don't know what car I'm going to get though. I have no idea what kind of car I would want. By the way, I'm going to point out right now because guess what? It's going to be weird for you. And what I mean by that is I pre recorded a portion of this episode, a huge portion, I should say, 40 something minutes worth, actually. And it's just me rambling. And originally, I just want to, like, by the way, this is just me explaining why it's not a part of the other episode. I have an episode in the works right now that I have yet to finish with my best friend Ben and his father. Um, and I took it upon myself. I was just like trying to like not get it just done and over with because like I really do enjoy the podcast, but I just like recorded a bigger portion just to like get at least an hour's worth of an episode so I could upload it. But I told Ben that afterwards, and then he told me, you know what? No, I want the whole episode to be with me and my dad. And I was like, all right, that's fair. So we're still working on it. We're probably gonna get that done today. But that portion of the episode was so big that I don't want to throw away. You know what I mean? So in the episode, or I mean in the portion of the episode that's coming up, or the section that I'm talking about that's coming up, um is there's parts of it that I talk about. Oh well, there's earlier in this episode, I had to cut off early and we didn't finish the episode, but here I am. You know what I mean? Like I talk about an episode that was parts of an episode that was part of this episode that aren't in the episode. You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm attaching that portion that was supposed to be part of Rob and Ben's episode to this episode, but it's gonna be after this part. So that's also another thing. So I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure. At the beginning of the next portion, I like reintroduce myself as if it's the beginning of the episode, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just preparing you. It's 9:41 a.m. I start science class in at 10 because I'm virtual. Which I'm very thankful for. I thank God for that quite often, or I should more though, because because when you go in person, you have to go. I'm pretty sure you have to be there by 8:45, and then you have to be in class by 9 with your all your stuff. Sorry, I have the hiccups. But yeah, I'm not a fan of school. I'm honestly not. I really don't like school. School, like, listen, I'm not complaining like a little pussy. I'm not. But I just don't like school. I'm gonna graduate, but you will never. As soon as I graduate, you're never seeing my ass inside of high school ever again. I'm not like fuck that. Fuck school. Just fuck it. It's so like nonsensical, or it makes sense. I mean, what I said is nonsensical just then, but it's just annoying. And what I mean by that is not the actual school, but it's just when you're sitting in the office, if you've gotten in trouble, as I have, you'll find yourself in the office, sitting there, observing. Observing the secretary. Not observing, like staring at them. Okay, how's it going? No, you're not staring right at them. But you're not going to just stare at the floor the whole time. You look around. So, anyways, sometimes if you're bored, you just watch what the staff do. You see how they do their job, what they do for every day. And you'll notice that not only do the majority of them not really care for all the fucking regulations that they put in place for them and the students, they don't care. If they don't know that you're sitting in the office, you should hear the things that they say. You think they're all dandy and happy? They're just like everyone else. They're human. What's the difference? The difference is they went to college, university, and teacher's school and wasted those years of their life just so they could teach a class, a course that they didn't even intend to teach. That's what it is. And then it gets to the point where they just want to make money and get to the end of the day. I want to read an email that I sent to my guidance counselor. That's what they oh, thanks, Aaron. He just sent me a text saying happy belated birthday, you goof. Oh, that's nice. But anyways, I want to read you guys an email that I sent to my guidance counselor. Yeah, as I was saying, they provide you these guidance counselors if you do virtual, so you can like get help or like contact the school. If you have questions, you contact the guidance counselor and they will answer your questions. That's what they're supposed to do. Well, anyways, I'm not going to say the name, but I have this one. Sorry, my guidance counselor in particular has a tendency to ignore us. And what I mean by that is you could send her 8 emails. Okay, listen, she's supposed to at every day, every school day, should say weekday. Holy fuck, I can't talk. Every weekday, I should say, at from like 12:35 to 1:25, she's supposed to be on this Google Meet, like a meeting that you can access through Google, and she's supposed to be there, just waiting for anyone, just in case anyone from my school needs any help with anything. And so anyway, she's supposed to be there. And when every single time I've tried to go there just to contact her about things that I need, she hasn't been there. It's been the other one that she's like in cahoots with. And she's always, and that fucking guidance counselor, she's always like, "Oh, I can't answer that. You got to talk to her. I'll let her know. I'll give her an email. I'll let her know." And I never hear anything back. So anyways, I got a little pissed because I let them know. Listen, so this adds on to the story I said at the beginning of this episode. Sorry, I just like this. This is perfect because I knew I wanted to conclude what I was talking about, but I forgot what I was saying. I remember now. So, anyways, I dropped my Chromebook. Yada yada yada. I tell the guy. By the way, so my phys ed class was in morning. Okay, it's my first class in the morning. Then I have science class that starts at, which is my second course, by the way, that starts at 1:25. All right, p.m. after lunch. So, anyways, right as phys ed ends, this is when I told him, and he said, "All right, hang back," which is all right. So, anyways, he sent in a help ticket, I think it's called, or a request, and then basically what happens is he sends it out to DDSB or whatever, or I'm pretty certain it goes through my guidance counselor. Okay, so, anyways, that happened, and right as I was about to go and access the second Google Meet that I'm supposed to go on, um, what happened was she fucking hold on 1 minute. I'm back. All right, listen. So, anyways, as I was saying, um, as I was right about to access the second Google Meet for my second course of the day, which I have to attend, on my Chromebook, uh, as opposed to on my fucking phone, um, my Chromebook just shuts down, and I think it dies. Okay, I'm just I'm clicking away. I'm right about to access it. Boom! It just shuts off. I'm like, fuck, because I was about to be late. You understand? And I did end up being late. But listen, so I plug my Chromebook in and I turn it on, and all of a sudden it turns on and it's still fully charged. I'm like, what the hell? And then I look, and I'm at the fucking sign in page, but right as I'm about to type, there's no bar. Instead, what it says was, "This device is locked." And then I look over and it says, "This device has been locked by the DDSP administrator. Please return at this address. Contact this phone number. Da 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 da." Are you fucking kidding me? I have to attend my second course. Why couldn't you guys wait until I was done my second fucking course? It was Friday too, to lock it. Why are you even locking it? I still can't access it. Um, but anyways, the reason why is because they don't care. They just got the request. They're like, all right, shut it down. He'll just return it when he can. That's it. That's all they care. They don't care. They don't think about, oh wait, maybe it's lunchtime. Maybe I should wait until fucking 4 when his class ends to fucking lock his Chromebook so he can actually do his class and attend. But anyways, I had to go on my phone and attend. But anyways, this is the email I sent them. Or I sent her. And by the way, this I do not hate her, or I do not advocate any hate towards this person. But I was very upset during this moment, as I hope you would understand. So just keep that in mind as I'm reading this. So the first thing that it reads, this I sent this at 1:32 p.m. This was right as my class. This was 6 minutes after, or 6 or 7 minutes after my class already started. And I said, "You know it's your job to help students, right? And not ignore them. Anyways, that being said, it is always a delight to deal with Durham's school board and its ridiculous and obviously nefarious, which means evil if you're an idiot, antics. Especially when I put in a Chromebook replacement request in my morning course just to find that in result, prior to my second class, which for reasons I think you can figure out on your own, I have to attend. My Chromebook has been, in quotes, locked by the DDSP.ca administrator, for which I assume to be for when I return it. But what would have been smart would be if you pickleheads waited until after my second class, so I would actually be capable of attending it. However, now I have to attend on my phone, where I am incapable of making notes effectively, or let alone learning effectively. But hey, you guys do not care enough to consider thinking about that, because your minds are too busy on making money. I will not be asking for help from any of you, quotes, professionals, or from any environment you careless opes inhabit. I'm sorry. I'm just pointing out. I was getting a little frustrated thinking about it as I was writing, so that's why I said that. I really hope that the school boards that are in place come to their senses and begin to teach and help students from your heart. By the way, I took inspiration from right here. I took inspiration from my best friend's dad, because you never want to be just a complete asshole to someone over an email or text, or in any instance. You want to advise them to you want, or at least suggest that they make a change, or acknowledge that they are doing something that isn't okay. So what I said was, I really hope that the school boards that are in place come to their senses and begin to teach and help students from their heart, and not as a way to make their greedy money, because God does not like that, and neither do I. So farewell to you and any other school officials. This will be the last time I contact any of you or even consider speaking to you. Have a wonderful evening, because that's all I could ask. Sincerely, Mr. Aldred. Listen, the reason why I was so harsh during that email is because I've had a long, 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 obnoxious history with these fucking moron goofs. That's what they are. I'm sorry. I listen. Not all of them. There's teachers that you meet that are nice. You can build a relationship with. But if you were to fail, your fucking class, their class, let's say you're in a class and it's your favorite teacher. He's the coolest guy. His name is Mr. French. What class does he teach? Math. And he's your favorite math teacher. And guess what? You fail his math class because he I don't know, something happened. And guess what? You think he's weeping over his steering wheel? Do you think he's sitting at home, shitting on his toilet, crying into his hands, the palm of his hands, fucking, fucking complaining about the fact, moping about the fact that you failed? No, maybe he'll be disappointed. I'm sure that maybe he would acknowledge the fact that, well, that's unfortunate. I expected more. I really expected him to persevere, but unfortunately he didn't. Maybe he'll do that if he's a good person. But to think that they care enough about you to like actually go out of their way to do you favors, or like, it's hard to explain. They don't like doing extra work that they don't get paid for. Like, if they don't get paid for helping you, or if they're not acknowledged for helping you, they're not very, like, usually they're not about it, which sucks. But anyways, I gotta get to my class because it's 9:54 a.m. I gotta get my notes ready. I gotta get my meeting ready. I'm using my mommy's laptop at the moment to record this, and I'm gonna be using it to go on the Google Meet because I'm not using my fucking phone. I had to do that last time, and I could barely even see my screen. We had to learn about the periodic table. Yay, on a fucking phone? Not happening, man. But anyways, God bless you all. If you don't believe in God, that's okay. I suggest that you should believe whatever. You know what? Believe whatever the fuck you want. Who gives a shit? But anyways, have a fucking great afternoon. Uh, Technically, I'll be tuning right back in a moment. But yeah, just know that this was recorded right after the fact. But anyways, like I said, hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. See ya. The Rock is a child eater. He is. I'm telling you. He eats babies. That's my theory. I may be wrong, but tell me this. Is it too hard? I'm sorry, there's construction. But is it too hard to believe that Hollywood has a corruption going on? And there's a drug that's flowing through the streams of every single actor's blood. Not every single one, but a lot of them. It's adrenochrome. If you don't know what that is, it's a chemical that's made by your brain when you're terrified. But unfortunately, kids produce a lot more. So, you know, there's this theory called Pizzagate that, well, let's just say that there's a bunch of kids that, potentially are getting murdered. But right before they're getting murdered, they're probably being terrified, let alone what other horrible shits happen to them. And then they're killed. And then they take the adrenochrome and then they sell it to actors for to keep them young. Have you ever looked at like a picture of an actor and be like, damn, man, they look like they look the exact same age they did when they were like a decade ago or 2 decades ago sometimes. I think it's adrenochrome. And I think The Rock's fucking trick is baby blood. Maybe, just maybe. Who knows? He seems like a good guy. I would hope not. But there's a lot of evidence. And there's an interview of him talking about how he eats babies. So there's that. But anyways, that being said, he's actually in a really good movie called Pain and Gain that came out in 2013. It's made by what's his fucking Michael Bay, the classic explosionist. But no, it was a really good movie. It had The Rock, Dwayne the Cock Johnson, Fart Wahlberg, and Anthony Anthony Mackie, I think, or Macri, Anthony Mackie or Anthony Macri. I don't know, one of the two. But anyways, it was a really good movie. It was, and what it's about is back in the 80s, there was a group of bodybuilders, or two bodybuilders. Yeah, a group. So a trio, right? Trio of bodybuilders. This is a true story too. It's based all on a true story. And this one, the main bodybuilder of the story, the main character, I should say, he meets so basically he works at this place and trains people, right? He's like a coach. And he coaches one dude who happens to be very rich. Um, and he caused a lot of problems with the government. So like, if he were to get in trouble, or if he were to lose a lot of shit, they wouldn't really care to help him, you know. But anyways, so the main character, Fart Wahlberg, what he decided to do was he uh he went out of his way to basically organize a plan with these two other guys, the Cock and Anthony Mackie. And what they did was they decided they kidnap him. It took them 11 tries, but what they did was they dress up in these fucking ninja and alien suits, and they the first time they did it, tried to kidnap this guy. They waited until he was at a store, and then they drove into the parking lot, and then their plan was to drive right up to his car as it's parked, so he couldn't exit. And then they were gonna kidnap him in public like a fucking bunch of morons. But it didn't work out, and it took 7 other tries, but they finally pulled it off. And yeah, and they kidnapped him, and then he said something about pectoral muscles, and it pissed off Fart Wahlberg, and then Fart Wahlberg fucking threw him to the ground, and then picked him back up, and then decided, you know what, I'm not gonna let you live. I'm gonna torture you for a couple weeks and then I'm gonna force you to sign a bunch of papers and sign all your shit over, all your money and everything, literally everything. And then he did, and then he managed to do it. He tortured the poor fuck, and then afterwards he convinced Dwayne the Cock Johnson to run him over with a truck. And however, he survived, and basically he woke up in the hospital, um, and he tried contacting the government um so many times, but this is all true, by the way, but except for the names, obviously. I'm just pointing out the actors. But basically, yeah, this is all true. And he tried to contact the fucking government like a bunch of times, to like get his shit back, but no one would help him until he contacted a private investigator that was retired, who's played by I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood, but I might be mistaken. You know what? I'm gonna search that up. If he was played by Clint motherfucking Eastwood, I'm. By the way, Clint Eastwood is an anagram for Wild West. What? It's crazy shit. Um, or I'm pretty sure like the Wild West or some shit. All right, Clint Eastwood. Pain and Gain. It's a really good movie. I really do suggest it. The Rock snorts coke in it. It's really great. Who the fuck is? All right, maybe it's not Clint Eastwood. I was mistaken. I thought it was Clint Eastwood. Whoops, my bad. Anthony Mackie. Yeah. So Mark Wahlberg plays the main, or AKA the main character, plays Daniel Lugo. That's the main character. Then Dwayne Johnson plays Paul Doyle. Anthony Mackie plays Adrian Dorble, and his penis doesn't work. And then the guy who got kidnapped plays Victor Kershaw. His name is Victor Kershaw. I want to find Rob Cordy's in this too. He's hilarious. Fucking love that guy. Oh, and Ken Jeong. Okay, so listen, so Ken Jeong is in this movie, and he plays this guy named Johnny Woo, right? And he's just like he does like a bunch of fucking, what are they even called? I don't know. He does a lot of speeches, I guess you could say. And Mark Wahlberg goes to one, or Daniel goes to one, right? And he plays this guy named Johnny Woo, and he does all these speeches, and he's like an advocate, like he's an inspirator, but like he's just a dick about it. Like his one, like you'll see the scene, like if you watch it, the scene cuts in, and it's him. And he's like, there are two people in this world, and then it zooms out, pans out, and all you see on the billboard thing that's behind him, it says, Get up off your lazy American ass and get rich. And anyway, so he's like, there are only two people on this world, a doer and a don'ter. A doer or a don'ter. And then he goes off from there. But fucking I want to find it's hilarious, man. The way they did this is amazing. Who the fuck is in it? Or who the fuck is the private investigator? Hold on. I'm sorry. I really want to find this. Cop. He's basically a cop. Is it Ed Harris? Maybe it's Ed Harris. I feel like a moron. I feel like I should know this. What the fuck? Yes, it was. It was Ed Harris. Never mind. Whoops. This is funny. His name is Ed in the movie. But yeah, it's Ed Harris. I thought it was Clint Eastwood. I'm a fucking piece of shit. I thought it was just because he's old and he looked a little bit like Clint Eastwood. But yeah, like I said, it was a really good movie. But anyways, I don't want to spoil it completely. You have to watch it, but it's all like people get cut up. The Rock Johnson, cooks hands. I've been wondering what that is, Can you smell what the Rock's cooking? No, but for real though, like it's a really good movie. And good for them. Good for Mark Wahlberg. Hopefully he's not eating baby blood, but you know what? If he is, that sucks. But if he isn't and he's really working out for his movies and shit, that's good. It's really good. You know what I'm excited for? No Way Home. I'm really fucking excited for No Way Home. It's just, I don't know. I've watched Marvel since I was a kid. What can I say? I grew up. Listen, I was born in 2004. I was 4 years old. So basically, the year that I started, remembering shit and acknowledging shit that will stay in my brain and not just for some reason dissolve because my brain wasn't capable of holding memories. I watched Iron Man because that was the year it came out when I was 4. Um, However, I'm not saying that I didn't like Iron Man. I loved Iron Man, but for some reason, and I know this may sound weird to a lot of people, and it's very surprising. I watched The Incredible Hulk, which came out, I'm pretty sure either that year or the year after that, in 2008 or 9, and it was my favorite fucking Marvel movie for years until um Avengers 2 came out. Avengers was good, but they recasted fucking Edward Norton. And personally, I was a big fan of Edward Norton's Hulk. I've made this clear on my podcast before. He was a really good Hulk. What can I say? Like a lot of people, like I get it. He wanted to change the script a little bit. He didn't really have too much chemistry with the other actors. I get it. Whatever. But he was a good Hulk. So, but anyways, yeah, Marvel is fucking great, and it's this new Spider-Man movie coming out. I am so excited for because, listen, if well, personally, I really believe that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming back. But if they weren't coming back, I don't think I would be nearly as excited or excited at all. Really, personally, I'm not really big on like Tom Holland is a good Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not big on his Spider-Man movies. I don't know. But nah, like they're bringing Andrew Garfield, the amazing Spider-Man, the one who fought Lizard, Electro, that motherfucker. They're bringing back Tobey Maguire and his villains. Like this is great. It's a great fucking thing to see. It's insane is what it is. I'm excited to see how they pull it off. And Doctor Strange is in it. In the comics, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange had a fucking amazing fucking duo type shit going on. Better than Iron Man and Spider-Man. What's that? Fucking Doctor. Like, I don't know. I really hope they don't fuck it up, though. Imagine if Andrew Garfield isn't, or Toby isn't even in this fucking movie. People were just hyping this movie up for no reason. That would suck. But you know what? I truly do believe that they are. And guess what? What can you do? Listen, if they are, it really makes sense because they're just letting the fans, and it's genius. They're letting the fans build all the hype. Oh, stretch my back out. I'm dressed like Eminem for some reason. I got a black shirt, a chain, and a black hat on. Anyways, so fucking listen. Marvel is taking big leaps. They kind of fucked up with the Eternals. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't make any real. It made no, it didn't make sense. But it introduced Eros, the guy who I've never heard of, and a troll. But whatever, who cares? It's okay. I'm excited to see what they do with it. But you know what I'm most excited for? It's not No Way Home. Where is it? No, 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 no. It's not No Way Home. It's a it's a tie between when they're finally gonna reintroduce X-Men into the MCU. I fucking hope I really hope that they're not gonna fuck up and recast Hugh Jackman to this fucking idiot actor who can't play Wolverine. Um but that being said, it's either X-Men with the Wolverine, it has to have Wolverine, or Fantastic Four, but they have to perfect Doctor Doom. If Doctor Doom is not in the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe within 4 years, I have lost faith in Marvel. I'm sorry. He's the ultimate fucking he's the Marvel villain. He's basically the and I know this is a big statement, but he is basically the Marvel villain, like the face of all Marvel villains. Like he represents Marvel as a villain. Like when you think of villains and you go through all the genres, right? Who's the first villain? Like, who's the classic first villain that comes to your mind when you think of Marvel? When you think of DC, I think of Joker, to be honest. The first one that comes to my head, Joker, Lex Luthor. Who else? Fuck, why would I forget his name? Bane, sorry about that. Bane. Who else of Marvel? Who, like, really like, Thanos definitely does. Thanos. Loki. I'm trying to think of like just instant like it hits you. Venom. Venom is a big one. Venom and Green Goblin both. I used to always like be like confused. Like who's the main Spider-Man villain? Is it Goblin or is it the Venom? And then what blew my mind even more was there was another Goblin. It was called the Hobgoblin. The fuck? But that was cool. It was really cool actually. You know what? Comics in general, if you like listen, I get it. You're a nerd. If you read comics, you're a nerd. No, listen, if you sit down and shut your yap and just look at a comic and just look how it's designed, like look how they've drawn it in and how they've managed to fit the dialogue into this portion and have this art. Like it's art, you piece of fucking shit. It's art. So get out of here. Anime is one thing. I know people who really do like anime. My buddy Chris, who I just made amends with, because you know it's Christmas holidays. Tis the season of forgiveness. But whatever. Listen, he's coming out with a podcast. It's I don't know what it's called. Honestly, I can't pronounce it. Actually, it's not English. But check his name out on Instagram. You can find him at Christian Cavanaugh, but I think his username is at the Daily Nerd underscore underscore. So that's 2 underscores, and you'll find it, and then you'll be able to find his announcement. But he finished his first episode. We're recording it yesterday, and he's still editing it. It's uploading on next Sunday, so he's putting a lot of effort, and he's co-hosting it with his buddy Matthew. I've never met Matthew, but I heard he's pretty cool. But anyways, I'm gonna probably be featured on his podcast too because why not? Screw it. But what the fuck was I saying? That sucks. Fucking dick. Son of a bitch. I don't know what I was saying. I'm sorry. I forgot. That happens. But listen, how about this? Chris, in terms of Chris, um, I really forgot what I was gonna say again. Am I a fucking moron? Oh, yeah, Marvel. Okay, so fucking if they fuck up Green Goblin, I'm gonna be upset. Like, not even just mildly upset. I'm gonna be very disappointed. I grew up with these fucking movies. Green Goblin was fucking terrifying when I grew up. Not only just scary, it was just terrifying. Like, just have you seen the final fight of Spider-Man 1? That's one of the most brutal fucking fight scenes in movies. And it's a fucking Spider-Man movie. It's a Marvel movie. Come on, man. And then now they're like, watch the fucking scenes that they do. They look like they're fucking playing with each other, fondling their balls. That's what they're doing. Fucking goofs. Put some heart into it. No, I'm kidding. But like, I don't know. Apparently, Sam Raimi is directing Doctor Strange Part 2. I wonder how that's gonna go. I think I really do believe that's gonna be not only a conclusion to Spider-Man No Way Home, but also an amazing story that's gonna introduce so many different characters that we've been wanting to see. One that I doubt that we're gonna see, but I think it's possible is like I said, Wolverine, and who else? The Fantastic Four. Unless if they're gonna properly redo the Fantastic Four's origin, like do a Fantastic Four movie based on present day, and be like, oh, by the way, Reed Richards, and then boom, they fucking end up in space and shit. Like if they do all that and they nail it, then fuck it, go for it. Because how can you not have Doctor fucking Doom, man? Dude, his fucking his desires is the most classic fucking villain ever. He wants to rule the world because he thinks he can help us and save us. It's sick, twisted, and I love it because it's awesome. It's like fucking psychology type shit. I'm gonna rule the place because I can see the betterment of humanity. Like, it's classic villain shit, but it's the way that they do it is just, it's layered, and they do it properly, and they nailed it. Classic villain. I love it. It's perfect. Perfecto. Listen, I'm gonna leave it here, but I'm gonna be coming back. I have an episode on the way with Rob. It's called Rob and Ben, I should say, and it's called Jail Stories with Rob Dog, or just Jail with Rob Dog, and he tells jail stories. It's actually really funny. I really do love it. But anyways, it's coming out once we finish it. We might actually upload it how it is. We don't know yet, but just stay tuned. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, the rest of this episode. Like I said, the rest of this episode was recorded before this recording. And it was supposed to be part of the jail stories episode, but Ben told me that it'd be better not to, and he's right. So I decided to put it in this episode. So enjoy. See you guys on the other side, bitch. Well, we never ended up finishing this episode, so it is what it is. It's okay. I don't know what these assholes are doing, but since like 6 a.m., these fucking cockweasels have been making this obnoxious ass sound because they're doing construction. You can hear it. And all I hear is doof, 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 doof. It's the most annoying fucking thing ever. And then I got this fucking cat who keeps me up, which is also wonderful. You know, you gotta love that. No, but for real though, fucking Loki. I don't have the same problem with Oscar, but this one fucking cat, he doesn't do it during the day or when he's with anybody, but if everyone's trying to go to sleep and he's still awake, he will just walk around the fucking house and purr, and then all you hear is meow, meow, meow. No, like fuck off. I had to tell him to shut up like 5 times yesterday, or last night I mean. And he's been doing it since we moved in. He didn't do it fucking at our old apartment, at our old house. No. It's just some new shit. Like what, are you seeing a ghost? Fucking dick. No, I can't stand it, honestly. Like fucking when I first moved in, when I was first starting my new, my next, I guess, course, when I was going back into grade 12, or entering grade 12, this guy'd be walking around at like 2 in the morning. Meow, meow. Fuck, man, my point is, though, I was contemplating on getting rid of the poor fuck. I didn't end up getting rid of him, but like, fuck, man, the thoughts that were going through my head, I was almost at the point where I wouldn't have minded just kicking him out. Fucking cat. And look at him, he's just sitting there now, doing fuck all. Look how quiet you are. Fucking quiet bastard. Not a peep. Because I'm awake now, walking around. Why do people fucking make their kids dress up like they're kindergarten kids when they graduate from kindergarten? It's like a big thing where, like, they dress up like a fucking graduation. So, like, dress up as if they're going to a graduation ceremony. They have that fucking stupid-ass hat on. I'm looking at my picture right now when I did it, when I was in kindergarten. Had that fucking stupid little square hat on. What even is that thing? Nonsense, that's what it is. It's stupid. It's this fucking... You know what it is? It's for the parents. It's not for us. Now that I think about it, it's not really that stupid. It's just for the parents to, like, be like, oh my god, that kid graduated kindergarten, oh my god. You know? It is what it is. I understand it now that I think of it. Think about it. I apologize. Fuck, man. You know what else is fucking stupid? Tuxedos. You want to know why tuxedos stupid? Because, and I think I already talked about, or I glanced over this in one of my previous episodes, but it's stupid. Why the fuck would I have to fucking put on a tie? What purpose does a tie serve? It keeps your fucking shirt together. Like, fuck off. It's bullshit. You could have this fucking thing dangling from you in a certain way. You could have cufflinks. You know what it is? It's these fucking asshole goofs, the nefarious assholes who run this place, using the law of attraction against us. And there's basically what the law of attraction is when you surround yourself with something, like an idea of, like, for example, if you want a fucking Ferrari, you could put up pictures, like frame pictures of, like, Ferrari around your house, like a red Ferrari, and just place pictures around your house, and subconsciously you might not even notice it, but you're surrounding yourself with that idea, and eventually that's all you're gonna find. It's hard to explain. That's just a very stupid, simple way of putting it. But, like, what these assholes are doing is making a portion of us, not all of us, but a portion of us who work in businesses and whatnot, wear suits. Because when you're wearing a suit, the last thing, it's like the complete opposite of being in pajamas. Like, when you're in a suit, everything's all fucking collected, you gathered yourself, and you're just ready to work. Whereas when you're in your pajamas, you're all comfortable, you know, I'll just sit here and be comfy. But when you're in a suit, you know, you're all suited up, you're all ready for work, oh, I'm gonna do this. It's like an illusion almost, and it's annoying. Fuck, man. Earlier in this episode, before we went on break, I had Rob Dog on, and Benjamin was actually the one hosting it, but I had Benjamin on, and we brought his dad on, Rob Dog, talked about some jail stories. He has a lot more, by the way. I'm sure we're going to be able to hear a lot more when I go back over there today. I'm going to make a new probably a new episode or add to this one. Who knows? Fucking, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, yesterday, like when I was on the brink of falling asleep, something popped into my head. And I've already known this, but like I was just thinking about it. And I actually, right then and there, I took my phone and started talking about it so I wouldn't forget. But like I listened to it this morning, and like I sounded like I was half asleep, dying. So I was like, fuck it. So basically what I'm talking about right now is I had an idea pop into my head, and that idea was that when you observe everything in this universe, okay, like for example, when you look at a chair, that's a chair. But, however, if you think about it, it's not a chair. The word chair was created by us to describe that bunch of fucking wood or metal that is placed in such a way that we could sit on it. So we created the word chair as a word to describe whatever that fucking concoction is that we made. However,
that wood or metal that was used to create that chair isn't wood or metal. Those are also words that we use to describe those substances. What are those substances actually? Beyond metal or wood, like what are those? Where did it come from? What is it? Same with like fucking, I don't know, grass. That's not grass, that's just a bunch of green shit. Like green life, organisms coming out of the ground. But then again, organisms and life are just words to describe what we perceive as sentient. Meaning alive, obviously. But if you just take away all the words, every single word that exists, just erase all of it. And then you start looking at the world, and it's very weird. And it's very hard to understand or comprehend. Hence why we made the fucking words in the first place. So, like, when you walk past a tree, that's not just a tree, and that's where it ends. Oh, you look at the tree, that's a tree, period. No, that tree is a crazy fucking existing object, I guess you could call it, that's growing out of the ground. It is sentient. Like, it's a lot more complicated than just the word tree. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we made these fucking words, to describe all these complicated, complex things that exist, so that we can just get it over with and say it within 3 seconds. And then people will be like, that's what he's talking about. But it's not. We've gotten so used to using language to describe stuff to the point where we just see it as those words. When you look at a penguin, you think of the word penguin, and then it just ends right there. Before the word penguin was created, and someone came across a fucking penguin, it was the weirdest fucking concoction, sentient, living being ever. And so are we. Now when we look at a person, we're like, that's a person, or that's a human, period. That's it. And then we move on to think about something else. But when you really think about what a human actually is, or an animal, it's a lot weirder and more complicated than you would imagine. And that's why I think this universe is beautiful. That's why I think God is beautiful. Is because... And also this is why I believe that a lot of people are blind to seeing that this universe is beautiful. Because we look at something, and we already have a word to describe it, and then we use that word, and that's it, and then we move on. But a TV isn't just a TV. It's a weird fucking black box that has certain lights coming out of it that we identify as fucking images. It's really hard to explain, but I'm sure I'm somewhat getting it across. But it's really weird. It really is. And if you think of everything collectively that exists, that's even weirder. Because what if all of this is made of the same shit? It's made of protons, electrons, fucking energy that collectively makes up everything in this universe. I believe, in my opinion, I have made this clear, I truly believe that energy collectively is God. However, some people may disagree. I don't follow any religion yet, at least. I do want to read the Bible. I'm going to get a Bible to read because there's a lot in there that I bet is true. But yeah, this world is fucking crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, my bike got fucked up yesterday. I was biking back, and it was really stupid. It was snowing out. I don't know why I was biking. I do know. I was originally just going to walk the bike home, but I live in Whitby. So, I'm not going to just walk from Oshawa to Whitby holding a bicycle while it's fucking snowing out. So every now and then when it would be, clear, or it would appear to be clear, there's no snow on the ground, then I'd just ride it until I'd find myself at another snowbank that I have to walk through. But so I was riding it, and I was crossing the street, and there's this intersection that I was actually crossing, and there was a car, it was actually a truck. This truck pulling up and getting ready to turn where I had to cross. So, I had enough time to keep going, but I didn't have a lot of time to, keep going. I wasn't going to take my time like an asshole, so I started speeding up so that by the time I get across off of the fucking, I guess, walkway, you could call it, that person could turn, right? So anyways, I start speeding up, and then that person turns, and then I press my brake, and then it's not fucking working. I'm like, oh, fuck. So as I put my feet down, I'm already slamming into this fucking, because when you cross, you gotta cross another thing where a bunch of other cars are turning, but luckily there weren't any cars turning. But I went on to where the other crossway is, and then I press my brakes, doesn't work, place my feet down, and right before I could even place them down, I have to turn right. Otherwise, I'm just going to go straight into a fucking metal, border. So I turn right as fast as I can, and then as I do that, my wheel beneath me slips, and I go flying into that metal border. And the bike actually went flying underneath it, and I had to, drag it from underneath. And it actually got stuck, too. I remember I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was, pulling the wheel, and it'd get caught on nothing. Literally nothing. And then I finally got it out. And then I get back on, I start pedaling, and everything's fine. Everything is all good. And then, ching! And then, I guess, this is gonna be hard to understand, but, imagine when you're pedaling, and you're pedaling, and all of a sudden, it's like something gets in the way of the pedal, where it just stops, and you can't pedal further, and it's stuck there. You can bring it backwards and, rewind, but, you can't continue going forward until you bring it back. And I look down to figure, to see what the fuck's happening, and the chain, or the, I always forget what it's called, but that little fucking gear system that the chain attaches to, it was fucking it was crooked, or it still is, and the chain was actually getting caught on the top where it should have been at the bottom of the sprocket-looking thing. And because of that, the chain was getting caught, so it wouldn't let me keep going. So I was like, fuck sakes. And then I get off, and I continue walking, and then I get back on, forgetting about it. And it was weird, because you could pedal for a good 10 seconds, but if you reach a certain speed, it would get caught. So you can't go past a certain speed. But so basically I had the bike home at fucking half speed that I normally would have the whole time back. So I gotta get my bike fixed, which is great. But I don't even remember the point of bringing this up. Oh yeah, my bike broke. In general, my bike broke. So now whenever I have to go to Ben's, or not have to, but whenever I go to Ben's, I have to walk, which is okay. That's fine. Still exercise. It's good for me. But still, that pisses me off because I really liked this bike. I also really enjoyed my older bike, the one I had prior to this one. It was a white BMX that, because Ben's dad, Rob Dog, he was teaching me and Ben how to fix, repair, and build bikes. And he had a bunch of parts and whatnot, so I paid him $50 to help me build this fucking bike. He built the majority of it, but then he taught us how to clean the wheels and whatnot, clean the gears, change the fucking ball bearing within the wheel, etc., right? So then mine was done, and it was this white, short, little fucking BMX. And I fucking loved it. Originally, I had a white wheel and a golden wheel, the rim of the wheel. But then the one, I think it was the white wheel, it got fucked up. So then we had to get rid of that wheel. And then I ended up getting this purple metallic wheel put on it. It was sick. So I had a fucking purple metallic fucking wheel, and then a golden wheel, and then this white body, and then black handlebars. It was fucking, I loved it. And I named her Beverly. Because the story behind that, obviously, derives from when me and Ben were younger, just a little bit, like, I guess 12, 13. We'd be hanging out in my complex that I used to live at, and the kids in my complex would be like, "Oh my god, Bevan! Bevan!" They'd ship us, essentially. You know, like fucking, what was it, like Markiplier and Jack, like Septiceye. That shit, you know, when they merge your name to ship you together. "Oh, look, it's Bevan." So then, we didn't take offense to it, we just laughed, Bevan. And then, we told his parents, Rob Dog, and, his girlfriend at the time, about Bevan. And then, I don't know how we got Beverly from Bevan, but, like, because my nickname actually became Bevan for a little while, or it still is. Like, it's just this joke name for when I'm there. And then they were, like, going through, like, different renditions of Bevan, and then they ended up at Beverly, so I just took that and named my bike Beverly. So I had Beverly for the entire time that I was living at Lita's, because I was living at Lita's for like 5 months, or like 4 or 5 months, the entirety of the summer, how about that? And I just bike around the neighborhood. I loved it, man. But near the end, what's funny is that, or it's not funny, it was annoying, but whenever I'd pedal near the end, because I had to get it oiled, all you would hear is like, it's hard to explain, but it'd creak. Like, every time you'd, like, hit the pedals, you'd hear it was loud, like, ear-piercing, like, you'd hear it from down the street. But I still loved biking, and I was a little bit of a dick, and, so, like, I'd go out, and I'd put in, like, Bluetooth headphones, and I'd listen to music, so I wouldn't have to listen to it. But I still remember, like, just biking down the street and looking over, and people just giving me dirty looks, because all they hear is But when that fucking bike got stolen, actually, I'll tell you how it got stolen. One day, I was going downstairs, because I lived in an apartment, I was on the 4th floor. So I was going down the elevator, and I was genuinely more excited than usual to bike, or to go biking. I don't remember why, but I was just genuinely really excited to... Oh yeah, because I wasn't able to for a while, because I ended up going somewhere or elsewhere for a weekend. But I just got back, I'm going downstairs to see my bike, and basically where I'd put my bike is, like, in this bike rack, that was, like, outside, and right next to a playground. But I didn't have a bike lock. I know, stupid, you should have a bike lock. I know, I should have had a fucking bike lock, this is my fault. But, however, there was a lot of bikes, this is in my defense, there was at least 10 to 15 other bikes there that were also bike lockless. Okay, they didn't have a bike lock, so I was like, fuck it, who's gonna take my bike when there's this fucking brilliant looking mountain bike over here, like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to have to, like, bring my bike in, like, every day and keep it in my room, and then have to bring it downstairs and shit, or in the elevator, like, fuck that. Now I have to do that, technically, or not anymore, but I was. But anyways, I get down there, and I go over to the bike racks, and normally, there'd be my bike that's, like, closer to me, but, like, 3 slots down away from me, and then at least 10 other bikes there, including mine. So I go down there, and I turn the corner, and you know what I fucking see? I see one bike on the very, very end, like in the last slot, and then 2 bikes in the middle, and none of those 3 bikes were mine. And that was it. Just those 3 bikes, and all the other slots were empty. And I stood there, and remember thinking to myself, like, okay, alright, maybe, the fucking owners of the building hired people to bring the bikes in. So I go talk to the people, or, like, I guess the, like, secretary, I guess you could call her. I go talk to the secretary and ask if they had them bring the bikes into the garage. And they said, no, we have no business with the bikes. So basically what they told me was that that's all on me. If I want to keep it in the bike rack. They had no idea what happened either. So I said, can you please look through the footage because there's a bunch of bikes missing. I never heard back from them. They said, oh yeah, we will. What unit do you live in? I said 407. Like, alright, yeah, no worries. We'll let you know. Never came. Never let us know shit. But anyways, point is, I was like almost in shock. I didn't know what to do. I never had a bike stolen from me. So like fucking, all of a sudden I got very furious. Because me and fucking Ben and Rob built that fucking thing. So, like I said, Rob built like 90% of it, but he showed us how to like adjust and fucking clean and fix certain parts on it. But anyways, we still built that together, man. Like, fuck. That pisses me off. But anyways, so I was really pissed off, and I wasn't having it, so I ended up walking through the neighborhood to look for my bike. I know, it's stupid, but what was I gonna do? So anyways, I'm walking through the neighborhood, and it dawns on me. That fucking sound that I hate, that everyone hates, that is the one sound that I'm hoping to hear right now. I was hoping to God that I'd hear just around the corner that fucking ridiculous cranking sound. That shit. I was hoping to hear it. I was fucking... Because if I heard it, I could then, like, you know, go around the corner and then maybe get in the way and then take it, right? And then catch the guy. I never found the fucking thing. And I came back and I told my mom, and she's like, well, should have had a bike lock. I should have had a bike lock, I know. But, like, then again, how the fuck did they manage, whoever took these bikes, how did they manage to take at least 10? Because they were all gone. There was only, like, 3 bikes just sitting there. And they're all shit, too. It was obvious that they were stolen because they just left the shitty bikes. So what I'm thinking, or I guess I concluded that, I just assumed, I should say, that fucking some guy pulled up in a big truck and then took each and every one bike and then probably went home and then sold them. They probably fucking went through a whole heist. They probably planned it with their fucking buddies in their basement, drinking Smirnoffs. Alright, we go here, and we just bring the truck right up to the curb, and then we just take all the bikes. Like fucking assholes. Fuck, man. And it was a nice bike, too. Like, it went really fast. Near the end, I think it was a little bit slower, but, like, when it was first made, like, I went everywhere with that fucking thing. Because I lived, like, Okay, so just imagine fucking Oshawa. If you don't know what Oshawa looks like, just imagine... Afghanistan. So basically there's this fucking train track that fucking goes from all the way to Toronto, I guess, to I don't know actually, from Toronto to somewhere else. And basically when I used to live in my old complex, this train track divided the two sides of the city, or the two sides of that side of the city, I guess. And Ben lived on the one side, and I lived on the other. So basically, I'd have to bike over this bridge and whatnot, but my point is that whenever I'd go over the bridge, you'd have to bike up the bridge, and then you get to the middle part of the bridge, and the middle part is the highest point of the bridge, and then you could go down. It was like a perfect bridge, essentially. So what I'd do is I'd bike my ass off to get up to the top, and then I'd just sit there and slowly roll over to the fucking other side, and then just start down this fucking giant-ass sidewalk hill. And then I'd have to slow down near the end, and then turn, and then go down under this tunnel, and then turn left, and go up this other hill, and there I was. But yeah, it was, like, that whole route I used to love, but I also used to think it was a really long bike ride. I was like, fuck, I hate biking this long every day. But now I bike from fucking, or not anymore, but I was biking from Whitby to Oshawa. Which is, like, probably, like, I would estimate that to be, like, 4 times as much, maybe 5 times as much per bike ride. Fuck, man, I miss that bike. That was a nice bike. But, so... A good some backstory about Beverly, by the way. The body the body of the bike, the white body, was actually, it originally belonged to another guy. I'm not going to say his name. Actually, I'll call him Bird Legs. All right, so it belonged to Bird Legs, who lived in the upstairs apartment above Ben and his dad. And Bird Legs built all kinds of bikes, I guess you could say. He was a shit bike maker. He didn't know what he was doing. But he still did it, and he thought he was going to sell it. Whatever, who gives a shit? But anyways, he lived right above Rob, and Rob and him had a big disagreement or whatnot. A bunch of shit happened, and then he ended up moving out, but he left his bike. And then Rob, by the way, Birdlegs disrespected Rob on a fucking unearthly degree, so don't think that Rob did something evil here, right? But what Rob did was he took, because Birdlegs left 3 bikes, or I don't know, a couple. So what he did was he hid them, and then like for a year or so, just in case like if he came back looking for the bikes, he wouldn't find them. And then when I had paid for a bike, because I just wanted, like, I didn't have my own bike and everyone else did, so I wanted my own bike. So I paid $50, and then we ended up using the body from that one bike, one of Birdleg's bikes, and made Beverly. But that's not where it's funny. But what's funny is that maybe a couple months later, me and Ben are hanging out in the south end of Oshawa on the other side of the tracks. And we're biking together. We're right in front of 7-Eleven. And Birdlegs comes out of 7-Eleven, and he sees Ben and me on our bikes, but he doesn't recognize the bike because it's only the body, right? I had different wheels and handlebars. So we bike past him, and I know it's him too because I remember seeing him. And then all you hear from Birdlegs is, "Hey Ben, how's it going?" in the most ratchety fucking voice you could ever imagine. And he's like, "Oh, I'm good." And we get just far enough to where he can't see us or hear us, and we just start dying of laughter, dude. It was so funny, because like, how does that, like, imagine if he did recognize. That would have been bad. Or not really. We could have just escaped, but like, I don't know. It's just some stupid shit. Fuck, I'm technically in school right now, but don't worry. I'm on lunch break. Got fucking, how much time do I have left? I got 20 minutes. Got 20 minutes until gym class starts. We're apparently doing an assignment, or an assignment, I guess you could call it, where we have to come up with our own activity, any activity that exists that involves exercise, and then we have to discuss in a document what stretches you would have to do in order to prepare for that activity. Now, what I'm going to do is, obviously, bike riding. And I am going to include quadricep stretches and, hamstring stretches. One sec. I have a bunch of them. I have all the stretches in a document right here. Yeah, so hamstring stretches. I'm going to do that. And then, let me go down. Hold on, I'm just looking in the document. Fucking, I hate Chromebooks. Like, these people are assholes. Who give us these fucking Chromebooks and then make us think, oh, wow, we got a computer for free. No, you got a shit device for free. Oh, and ITB, which is the isolotibial gland. That's not what it is. I can't say it. I'm not going to try either again, because fuck that. It's also known as ITB muscle, which is in your leg. And then quadriceps, yes, quadriceps. And then I do quadriceps, I'm going to write quadriceps stretches. Then yeah. And then I'm going to have to discuss how those would be involved in stretching in order to prepare for a bike ride. and it's all gonna go great. And then after class, I'm gonna end up going over to Ben Germain's. Probably talk about some more jail stories with his daddy, and shit's gonna go down. By the way, I hope you, this morning I listened to, the jail stories, which is gonna be half of this episode. It's about 27 minutes long. That specific segment, I mean. And, I loved them. I loved them. I apologize, by the way, there's certain parts that, all of a sudden, for 3 seconds, in this one bit, it'll just go silent. By the way, don't worry, because, any part that goes silent, it's never important. It's 3 seconds long, and then it'll just go back. I don't know what that is, though. I don't know why that keeps happening. It happens, once or twice in each episode. Thankfully, it hasn't happened when we're talking about something important. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why it keeps doing that. I'm sorry. But yes, I do aim to fix it. Oh! It's, what day is it today? It is, I'm pretty sure it's the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the 29th Monday of November. Now, either for my birthday, which is December 11th, or Christmas, I am gonna be getting 2 new fucking microphones. Oh my god. And this adapter thing. Now, what this adapter thing is, it's so imagine, a small little cord that, on one end is a USB input, where you plug it into shit. And then on the other end, it's this little black box. And then, in this black box, you'll see, 4 fucking USB slots where you could plug anything that has a USB port into it. And what that does is it allows me to plug multiple microphones into whatever device I'm using, and then I could have my guest using a microphone that he desires to use. And it would be great. Or it is going to be great. Because I'm tired of using just one microphone and getting close to it and fucking almost headbutting my guest. Fuck that. Fuck that. Screw that, honestly. Fucking, I understand why people get 2 microphones now. Originally, I didn't. I used to look at podcasts and be like, why don't you just sit closer together and then have a microphone in between you? Y'all. But now that I've actually done some episodes, I realize it's stupid. Fuck that. I want to have some distance. Some fluent conversations. But yeah, I'm going to be getting 2 microphones. And once that happens, I'm actually going to be able to bring some guests in person and whatnot, and talk to them and interview them. But until then, the professional mic that I've been using temporarily, partially, for some of the episodes, is at Ben's house. It's not even mine. It's actually our good buddy Tyson's. Thank you to Tyson, by the way. Shout out to Tyson Man, for letting us use his microphone till we get our own. He's a good guy. I met him through Ben, and he's just chill, honestly. Tyson. Yeah, he's just really chill, But when I meet someone, and they're all fucking all over the place, and they're fucking... This is my thing. When I meet someone, and in the first day, they're already talking shit about someone else, in the first day, or any time at least, actually, I lose just that much fucking respect and trust for them, because who's to say that if I did something that person didn't like, that they're not gonna go over to their fucking other buddy and talk shit about me, So don't talk shit about people. It makes you look bad, idiot. No, but it does. I don't like it. Do not like it. Fucking Rob was talking about something fucking earlier in this episode, and he kind of got cut off for some reason. I was listening in to it. I don't know why Ben got him to change the subject, but he's talking about how prison guards are were originally kids that got bullied in school and whatnot, And then they grow up and they want to throw all those bullies in jail, and they don't even make it to jail. Or they don't even make it to being a police officer. They just settle and become a fucking prison guard. And you know what? In my opinion, I think that's very possible, if not very truthful. Because I think the same fucking thing about, like, teachers. That, like, when they were in school, you know, they fucking, maybe they had a bad experience with their teacher, and they thought, oh yeah, well, I could teach this way. And then they get to school, and they think that they're gonna teach science class, and then they go to fucking university, they go to teacher school, whatever the fuck they call it, and then they get into the fucking actual school to teach, and they're not even teaching the fucking class that they originally wanted to teach. And then when they're sitting in that class, they're like, fuck this. I'm not going to have energy. I'm not going to have fucking, what's the word? They won't emphasize anything. They won't ever enjoy teaching that class. They'll just be sitting there, all right, open your books to chapter 12 and read. And then they just sit there. Like, fuck off. Fuck that. Not cool. That hasn't happened yet, by the way. Yet. Where a teacher makes a whole class open up a textbook and then go to, like, page 69. I don't know. That hasn't happened. It's mostly what they do is they try their best to teach the lesson, or at least some of them try their best. And they teach the lesson, and then they give you an assignment to do, or a worksheet, and then you just fill it out based on what you learned in that lesson. And then you have all these fucking idiots, including myself, from fucking previous years. I never really clued in. That fucking just talk shit, or talk throughout the pod, or the lesson, or ignore the lesson. And then they're fucked. Because then when they get the worksheet, we're like fucking, oh, what is that? And then you gotta raise your hand and ask for help. And then all you'll get is, were you not listening during the lesson? And then you gotta look stupid and try to lie, perhaps, and say, yeah, I was, but... And then they make you even look more stupid and be like, alright, well, what did I say during duh? And then they fucking throw you under the bus even further. I can't stand teachers like that. Like, just get to the point, help me out, and fuck off. That's what your job is. Your job isn't to stand there and embarrass me in front of all these fucking other kids. You know? So I do understand both sides of the party. You know? Just teach your lesson with heart. That's my suggestion to every teacher. When you're teaching, teach with the intention of actually teaching us, and not with the intention of getting it over with so you can go home and get paid. It's as simple as that. If you just teach us, and you have good intention, and all you want during that lesson is for us to comprehend and understand what we need to understand, then there should be no problems. Unless if they're ignoring you, and by that point, that's not your fault. You don't need to worry about that. What you need to worry about is just fucking getting the point across to everyone. Or at least trying to. Instead of just being lazy and fucking hating your job. If you're gonna sit in a fucking... in a chair behind a desk and fucking be a miserable teacher, why did you fucking go to school to become a teacher? Why'd you waste all those years of your life? You not only went to college, you went to university, and then you went to teacher school, just to be paid jack shit, essentially, and just to be a miserable asshole to students. Is that what you want? Was that your goal? I don't know, it pisses me off. Fucking school. I already said once on the podcast, I'll say it again, I am not going to college. I figured that out this year, or no, last year. I figured out that, college ain't for me. And the reason for that is because when I was in elementary school, and, like, say in grade 8 or whatever, And I just want to get the fuck out of elementary school. I'm done with this place. Let's move on to whatever's next. I don't care what's next. Let's just move on. And then I got in high school, even worse. And and I know for a fact that it'd be the exact same vibe, or exact same type of situation as me wanting to get out of high school. I finally graduate from high school, then I move on to shitty college, have to pay for it, fucking get all stressed out, lose my life, essentially. Fuck that. Just become a janitor for a year. Fucking put that on my resume. Then go into school, trade school to become a welder. Ain't no college. Fuck that. College. Why do you have to pay to go to college? What the fuck is that? And then everyone fucking in there looks at you like you're an idiot if you don't go to college. Sorry, I don't want to pay fucking my own money to learn about shit that I don't want to know. Or that I don't care for. You're paying to put yourself in that situation. And then you have these assholes. Listen, there's two types of fucking people that don't need to pay for college. And the one is the asshole First Nation people who throw it in your face. Oh, yeah, well, I don't gotta pay for college. I don't gotta pay for shit. Great. And then there's people like Ben who actually understand and they just keep it to themselves. Fucking. No. The number one thing that I hate, number one, is power abusers. That's what I hate. I hate people who abuse their power and know that they're going to get away with it, so then they do it. And listen, I haven't gotten out of school yet, so I couldn't speak for, day-to-day life. But the majority of people that I've encountered so far that abuse their powers are teachers. That's why I hate school so much. And it's not just one teacher or one staff member in a school. It's a good portion. Like, I don't understand why civil wars don't break out in schools between the good teachers and the bad teachers. Because it's so distinctive. You look at a good teacher and you can just see it just by the way they're teaching. They're actually standing, pointing at the whiteboard, looking at you, asking questions to make sure that you're actually getting it. Whereas the other teacher's sitting down, looking at her computer, fucking anytime they gotta ask a question or answer a question, they gotta do it with such fucking miserableness. Well, what do you need help with? They basically what they do is they act so fucking careless and they act so fucking bothered by you asking for help that by the time that they answer, you don't even want to hear it. You don't alright, fuck you then, dick. Don't help me then. Fucking dry heaving about it. As if you gotta fucking get up and fucking mow the school's lawn. Fuck off. Actually pisses me off, man. Fucking ungrateful assholes. And then, you know what happens? When the principal or whoever their boss is comes in, then they act all fucking mighty and fucking all about doing it. They're like, oh! They see the fucking principal and then they fucking stand up and then they fucking start acting like they're teaching a lesson. Fuck off. And we can't say fuck all. What, the teacher's gonna believe the fucking students or the teacher? Or, the principal is gonna believe. That's what fucking all teachers and all fucking parents, or maybe not parents, but all staff don't understand. I used to try explaining this to the fucking principal all the time. Not just the principal, but staff. And they wouldn't believe me. They'd be like, oh yeah, well why don't anyone say anything? Because you fucks won't believe us. Why doesn't anyone say anything? Because we don't want to fucking look like assholes and then get in trouble. For lying. Fuck that. And fuck school. Honestly, fuck school. They finally figure out a good fucking way, a good layout for in regards to courses for high school students. They finally allow us to do something that makes sense, which is 2 courses at a time as opposed to 4. And they see we enjoy it, and they're like, nah, fuck that. Now in February, we're going back to the fucking bullshit semester system that makes 0 sense. And their reasoning is even worse. Because, well, in this quadmester system, learning has become a bit challenging. Sure it has. Sure. What? How? Because we don't fucking spend multiple months in one unit? Like, fuck off. No, basically what happens with quadmesters is they teach you everything that you probably would need to know of that fucking course, and then they move on. They don't dwell on it and fucking bore you. Fuck, man, I hate school. I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna graduate high school. I have to, but I don't know. It's just really stupid. It's a reputation thing. You know, fuck, I can't even, piss me off because I've already said this, but, if you truly believe that any staff member at any school actually cares about you, unless if you've actually developed a relationship with them, or a relationship, but, a friendship, I guess you could call it. Because I'm not saying that there isn't fucking, like I said, the majority of teachers at schools, good schools at least, aren't bad, but there's a good third, always, that are just shit at their job. They're just shit at it. And that portion does not care about you. Actually, a third, fuck that, 2/3. The majority of fucking staff that I've encountered are bad, and they don't care about shit. It's actually the opposite. It's pretty hard to find a good teacher. It's pretty fucking hard to fucking find someone that cares about what they're teaching. At least in Ontario. And it's sad, because I don't know, I wish that, everything was just straightforward, no one's fucking with anyone, in school, I mean, I wish they'd just teach us what we need to know, and then, you know what the one thing is, they try to play it off like they give us the choice to learn about what we want to learn about, in the form of fucking, electives, but the primary fucking courses or credits that we need to get are bullshit. French? You need a French credit? For what? In case if I get fucking... I fucking get in a plane crash in Quebec and I'm stuck in the fucking middle of Quebec. What am I gonna do? Oh, no one speaks English. Fuck off. Alright, my class started. Good afternoon to you, bro. You're going. Thanks for listening. And, yeah, I'll see you later, bro. See ya.